Good morning, grade 5. Today we're going to start Unit 5, Lesson 1. Our unit talking about ecosystem. First of all, we need to know what the meaning of environment. We know that environment is all living and non-living in an area. This area called the environment. For example, we have forest environment, ocean environment, desert environment. All of this contain living and non-living things parts. So the living parts in any environment, it's called biotic parts. So biotic parts means the living things in any environment. For example, as ocean, the biotic parts in the ocean is like a fish, squid, octopus, jellyfish. All of these are examples for biotic parts in ocean ecosystem. While the abiotic parts, it means that the non-living things in the ocean ecosystem. For example, for non-living things in ocean, like water, air, the sand, the temperature, okay? All of these are examples for abiotic parts in ocean environment. So, okay, now what's the meaning of ecosystem? Ecosystem is the same area which contains the living and non-living things, but they interact with each other. So, for example, if we talk in ocean ecosystem, so we have the shark eats a fish, is an example for interaction in the ocean ecosystem. Another example as in forest, the bird either sitting or using the branches of the tree to make their nest is another example of interaction in another ecosystem. So any interaction in the ecosystem makes this area called ecosystem. We have a size for the ecosystem. We may have a huge ecosystem or a small ecosystem. Okay, a huge or a small. For example, the huge ecosystem like a forest, desert, ocean, all of these are examples for a huge ecosystem. While the small ecosystems like a pond, a lake, a mud puddle, all of these are examples for a small ecosystem. Okay, any ecosystem contains many types of living organisms. So, if we have a group of organisms from a same species, this group will called population. So population is a group of the same living organisms in the same area, like a group of elephants. So all elephants in an area is called population. All elephants in an area called population. While if we have is a group of different populations in the same area. So if we have a group of zebra, giraffe, lion, all of these animals in the same group, so this group is called community. Any population in ecosystem will need some resources to be survived. For example, for these resources, like food, they need food, okay, they need water, they need shelter, they need space. All of these are needs for all population to survive in their environment. These resources are called limiting factors. This interaction between population to meet their needs is called competition. The interaction between the living organisms in the ecosystem to get their needs or to get their limiting factors, which consists of food, water, shelter, space, all their needs to be survived is called competition. The resources they needed, it's called limiting factor. And when they interact to get their limiting factors, this is interaction called competition. So the result of this competition, the population that compete to obtain enough resources will survive. Thus, while those that can't be compete will not survive. If the living organisms can't compete for the limiting resources, they will die. No one can be live without the limiting factor or without these resources to be survive. Okay. An organism's habitat is a place where the animals live. So the habitat is the home of the animals. If I ask about the home of monkey, is a rainforest. The home of the fish is the ocean. The home of the frog is pond. So when I ask about the home, I said habitat. What is the habitat of lion? The grassland. What's the habitat of the giraffe? The forest. Okay, so habitat, is the place where animals live. Any organism in his life has a niche. Niche is your role in the environment. It's your work. You have the tree, the niche of the tree is doing photosynthesis. Some animals have a broad niche and the other has a narrow niche. Some organisms have narrow niche and the other has wide niche. He says that organisms with a specific way of living has a narrow niche. For example, an animal that eats only one type of food and can't survive without that food, like panda. Panda can survive only with bamboo plant and can't eat any food else. It can't live in a far place from a bamboo plant. While the animals which have a broad niche, the other animals which have wide niche can live in many places and eat many food. Okay. So at last, every ecosystem contains diversity. What's the meaning of diversity? Diverse, it means different in kind, or the variety of different species in ecosystem. Okay, it means that an ecosystem which have very diverse, it have many species, like ocean. If we say ocean, we can see many types of fish. We have jellyfish, octopus, or many types of animals. While if we're talking about the desert, we're gonna say a little types of animals live in desert, like camel, snake, lizard. If you compare between the type of species which live in ocean and the others which live in desert, we're gonna see that ocean has high diversity, have many types of living organisms that live inside it, while the desert has low diversity, so it has small types or little types of living organisms which live in it. So this is lesson 1 in unit 5. Okay, let's see you next session inshallah. Thank you, grade 5.